3, 2, 1.
Damn, those sounded all pretty close together. Discord good.
That was good enough.
Discord
Good enough.
Perfect. That's why it was broken for me for an hour.
Yeah,
They were fixed.
normal.
You know, it was
Well, you were
funny because
doing
I
it wrong.
clapped. I clapped directly on the part of my hand where a nail went in it, and that
it's
hurt.
very good when you get a nail through your hand.
Now, did the nail go through your hand like Jesus style, or
Oh no
Like
no no no
hamburger
no!
style or hot dog style.
Oh, but Jesus style.
I have a
You
pic.
know, like
I
Jesus.
have pictures. I just obviously don't want to post them for obvious reasons.
Okay. Nope. Moving on.
can you DM
We can't
them
do
to me,
this
though?
again.
Yes.
We're not doing this again. We already did this once with Sarah's leg. We're not doing this again. Let's start.
Bop it.
Okay. Just edit this out.
Nail it.
Screw it.
It's all very good.
Lonnie is drowning in the fountain while the wolves prepare off in the surrounding mountains. And this hum in the air and this death in the room, it will pick us apart if we don't leave here soon. These liars, killers, and evil men have collected the land and are in power again. You can hide under a rock or you can turn yourself in, but they are ruthless, hungry, and in power again.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Henry Kissinger Is Pokemon Going to Die? Not a Threat.
Just a fact.
Yeah! Your favorite leftism podcast, Leftism by Dumbasses for the Extremely Online. I am going to make this tagline happen, because I like it.
I'm fine with it.
Yeah, it works.
It's very good. I haven't been on in several weeks because I have been doing overtime at my government job because I like to make myself suffer. Does anyone else love to suffer?
Oh, hell yeah.
Yes.
It's very good. I just like type all day, so it's not like a particularly strenuous job. But then like you realize that you're sitting somewhere for 13 hours and then your brain just starts to melt.
Oh yeah.
You gotta love it.
And then I went to trivia immediately afterwards and had to like recall facts.
What else
Let's
did
not
you do?
downplay the fact that you can very much fuck up your wrists from typing for 13 hours.
See,
I
that
hope
doesn't
you're using
that doesn't
good
happen to me
ergonomics.
because I type like an idiot. I'm like a finger typer, which
Ooh,
means
me
all
too,
I do
me
is
too.
fuck up my shoulders instead.
Okay, so you type for 13 hours, but you type 5 words.
No, I type pretty fast. I am one of the faster people.
I type with like 2 fingers, but it's all extremely muscle memory. So like I don't need to
And
like
the fingers are on the same hand.
yeah, and I'm just smacking the same hand. All
I mean,
around the
I
keyboard.
mostly just have to type with the number pad. So like,
You
I
also
work at the tax center.
Oh, I thought you were saying that you do it like an old cell phone.
You also don't have to worry about getting your wrist fucked up from typing for 13 hours a day because you have a titty mouse pad.
I actually do have a giant like
Titty mousepad.
it's like the same kind of gel, but it's a long bar. So I actually just have a flaccid dick mouse pad,
No, it's just one
Nice.
long titty.
or just a long titty.
One long titty.
Can I get an extra long titty?
Yeah, can I get it? Can I get a
I want
long
girl
titty
with
for
a
my
short
desk?
skirt.
No, it's my
and a
it's my
long titty.
it's my ergonomic long titty.
Okay,
Which I
just
had
want
to
make sure I
specifically
didn't miss here.
request.
Was that like a cake? Was that extremely cake voice long titty there, Sam?
It was. It very
Okay,
was.
okay, I'm glad.
Do they
Good,
have
good.
left-handed long titties?
Okay, that's my new band name, Left Hand Long Titty.
Anyway, my name
we
is
do a podcast?
guys. We didn't even introduce ourselves. My name is Matt, also known as Winnipeg Jet Fuel Can't Melt Golden Knights.
Wow.
I'm Linus, aka Long Dick.
Sorry.
One
I
clap.
hate it.
I'm Evan, aka all new Tesla air freshener Elon's Musk.
Nice. I'm Sam, aka new Tesla air freshener Elon Musk.
Thanks.
Trump something. Like
Okay.
Trump has the Pelon
make the
tape.
joke yourself.
Build your own joke. I'm Zach, aka Young Temp Employee.
Yeah, boy. Oh man, that
I
reminds me.
would really like it if we did an episode that was just like a build your own podcast. We just come in, we just say like P, dick, balls, politics, Republicans, Trump.
Yeah, and we just have to assemble it
See
later.
you next week.
And we could get real close to the mic and, make sounds.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway,
Yeah.
Zach,
Speaking?
Zach, I'm extremely mood about that because my current contract expires next Friday, and I'm going to find out whether or not I'm extended at the earliest next Tuesday.
Oh, great.
Aren't we all glad that, our labor bargaining positions as 20-somethings are all so strong?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
so
hey,
good.
I got again my first day on my particular temp job yesterday. I literally shot myself in the fucking hand with a nail gun, and now can never go back.
Yeah,
It's good.
So
You love
you
to
know,
see it.
Can you really not ever go back? Were they like, hey, you injured yourself, so...
Well, the nail went through his hand and killed his boss.
That's what I like to call praxis.
No, but seriously, it's just because it was like a 2-day super temp position where it was just like, oh, I came in, immediately got hurt, and now I can't do the job anymore.
You
Great.
said, if you want to get me out of here, good luck, because I'm nailing my hand to the floor.
Little did I know those words would soon become my downfall.
I'm gonna be full-time one way or another.
You should have just, kept working and become one of those fucking anecdotes where it was like, this person suffered some grievous injury and finished their shift, and then, that's supposed to, be inspiring.
This
Oh,
person
nail
had
hands, Mike.
This person had terminal cancer, and so did their parents, and they worked at McDonald's for 88 hours a week to pay for their parents' cancer treatment, then died of their own cancer.
Oh, that guy over there?
And you won't believe what happened next.
That's benching whole hands.
Stupid.
I kind of low-key want to cut this now because I'm not sure how much of this is a good idea to have on the podcast, but whatever, it doesn't matter.
No, this is
Evan,
great.
the problem is
Yeah.
that it's been funny, and we're not going to be funny for the remaining hour and a half of this podcast, so
Fair
it's
enough.
good that we're funny now.
Yeah, my
Fair
energy's...
enough.
Speaking of podcasting, shall we?
I was trying to actually transition there into our weekly now dunking on Elon Musk.
Okay.
Can we come up with a name for the
Oh,
segment
cool.
where we dump on Elon Musk? I feel like we need more segments.
The Elon Dustbin.
No, that's...
Elon's Dusk. No.
Elon After Dusk? Is this a nighttime thing?
It's
what I was
sexy
We're all talking
Elon
about
Musk.
fucking Elon
I'm
Musk.
on rhymezone.com right now.
Step into the rhyme zone.
Getting some extremely Tumblr After Dark vibes right now.
Yeah, remember Tumblr After Dark?
You remember how
not
it's still the same website?
The night bloggers are out.
Bustin on Musk.
True epic random.
But yeah, no, I'm actually amazed. There is 3 different Elon Musk things to mention this week because he has spent the entire week being extremely online and
He's just-
extremely easy to make fun of.
He spent
Yeah.
the entire week at his factory cranking
He's
it.
cranking
Oh my god.
hard.
Get it.
Yeah, first of all, he said he was cranking it.
First of
He
all,
was
he's
cranking
Cranking
it
hard.
hard.
He was cranking it.
He didn't say he was cranking it. He said he was cranking hard.
Cranking hard. Now, this
He was
isn't just
cranking
Also
like...
known as
hard on the
cranking it hard.
factory floor.
This isn't a double entendre. This is
And everyone
I'm
has to
having
let me
trouble
do it 'cause
imagining
I own
what
the factory.
he possibly could have meant other than cranking his hog.
He meant that there's one very big lever at Tesla headquarters and it needs to be cranked repeatedly to make the cars, and he's sitting there cranking it up and down to make the cars. It's not that hard.
It's
Yeah, there's
it's
a
that
big
there's
sign
one.
above this lever that says "Bust Unions."
It's the only sign that he has in the whole factory because he has no safety signage because he hates the color yellow.
He hates the color yellow and he doesn't like the beep beep of
Well,
the
he also
forklift.
has another sign that just says 0 days since the last accident.
It's not an alterable sign.
No, that's just what it says.
There's actually just one big dick in the center of the Tesla plant that he just goes and cranks every day. Also, I've got it. We call it aw shucks, Musk. Or no, fuck, that was
That's
better
good.
in my head. Forget it. Keep going.
No, I kind of liked it. If we added a slide whistle.
Aw shucks, Musk.
If I was at my dad's, I could actually go get a slide whistle. Why
Aw,
am I not
dang.
recording? This is the
Okay,
first.
go to your dad's.
So no slide whistle, no duck lamp. What are you good for?
I have my show beer.
Okay,
Okay,
shout with the
even
P tape
worse.
says cluster Musk.
Okay,
Okay,
Customer
we can
master?
that's
workshop
better
it.
than anything we came up with.
It really is.
So, let's start with the first of 3 things that Elon Musk was publicly getting
Hey,
owned
remember?
about.
Remember when I said that I liked that Elon Musk was like the only rich person in the world who seemed to have any interest in solar power and clean energy, and then somebody thought that I was an Elon Musk fanboy.
Yeah,
No?
that was remember how that wasn't even that long ago.
That was a few months ago, I think.
A few months ago. That was 40
God, we've been
years
doing this
ago.
podcast for 6 months.
It's really fucked up.
Wait, it's been
Jesus
6 months?
Christ. Anyway, what did Elon Musk do this time?
So the first thing is, we already talked about how he's dating Grimes, but apparently people were getting on Grimes's case for calling herself an anti-imperialist while also dating a dude who famously is a union buster. And Grimes went on Twitter going to bat for him, and I don't want to paraphrase her, but she deleted the tweet, so I'm not going to be able to find it quickly. But it was basically
She did very much say literally fake news.
Yeah, she
It
called
is
it
literally
fake
fake news, and she said, like, he never did any union busting. Like, I know, I've done my own independent research, and I've even visited a factory. Which,
And then
like,
there was an article the same day about how much union busting he's doing.
right. And,
I went to the factory and everyone was smiling with fear in their eyes, and they were waving at me and saying, "We love Elon Musk, our boss."
Elon Musk
Well,
covering up his big "I love union busting" sign with a big tarp right before she walks in the door.
Well, I mean,
Everyone at the factory was singing like "It's a Small World."
Yeah, he flips a lever, and all of a sudden, everything dedicated to his union busting like flips over and like sinks into the floor and gets replaced with like "We heart unions."
Actually, it's a pet store.
When she walked into the factory, she just like caught them all like slapping yellow tape on everything, and they're just like, "Oh, no, this was always here."
There's extremely the color yellow.
What pet store busts unions at 3 a.m?
Oh boy, 3 a.m.
Thank you, Evan, for catching my reference.
No, I caught it. It's just like, this is, whatever.
Thank you, Evan, for following up on my reference.
You're
okay, there
welcome.
we go.
Also,
Frank and
to be fair to Elon Musk, though, busting makes him feel good.
Bustin',
I mean, it makes me feel good, too.
Bustin'.
Bustin'.
Thank you, Matt,
bustin'.
because now we can end this episode with Bustin'.
Bustin'.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm very glad.
So the funny thing is that Elon Musk going to bat to defend himself from allegations of union busting,
It's so bad.
accidentally incriminated himself for union busting because he said.
Yeah, see, I missed this. What was it? What did he do?
So he said.
I didn't even hear about this. I thought you were about to say something else.
It was pretty good. He said like all of this stuff. I'm paraphrasing. All of this stuff about like union busting is fake. It's not true. Like Tesla employees have the opportunity to unionize whenever they want, but why would they want to do that and give up stock options in exchange for like yada yada yada?
Right.
And so then the National Labor Review Board was like, "Hey, is Elon Musk stopping his unionized employees from getting their stock options?"
Okay, no, I
Because
did
they
see
can
would
it.
be
unionize
a
if they want, but
crime.
why would they want to unionize with all the penalties that I have against people who unionize?
I don't think he knows what union busting actually means.
He thinks that it's when you like walk in with a jackhammer and you just like
Bust up the
jackhammer
union.
people's brains out.
He literally thinks it's just like sending in the Pinkertons to rough up
Yeah.
the union guys.
Or
Which is one of the many beautiful ways of busting a union, but that's
Yeah, of
not the
course.
only one.
But
They're
you
all-
can't
God,
do
I was
that
listening
anymore.
to I was listening to the Dollop today, and it was the Henry Ford's Henchman episode, which is like a very on-topic episode for the discussion of auto worker union busting, because he
I don't listen
very
to that
much just did send thugs in to beat up people who would distribute leaflets at his factory.
Okay,
Nice.
listen,
Henry
he's
Ford
trying
was
his
an
best to
ally.
be a capitalist. People,
It's-
come on, cut him some slack.
It's actually, like, after listening to this and then, like, looking into it a little afterwards, I am amazed at how much revisionism has happened in regards to Henry Ford and his
I mean,
factories.
he was like a buddy of Hitler's, wasn't he?
Yeah,
He literally
wrote-
was, yes!
Oh.
And Hitler
He
had
wrote
a
a
literal portrait of Henry Ford.
Yeah, he wrote a pro.
Okay, I knew that one of them was like a fan of the other. Did they actually personally know each other?
I don't-
or-
I
You
know,
know,
did they hang out?
No,
I
he
know, I
wrote a
think
lot-
they had correspondence.
Also, he wrote a anti-Semitic newspaper
Wink.
called the Dearborn Review until he was forced to
Yes.
stop by the U.S. government for whatever the 30s equivalent of hate speech crime is.
Anyway,
Yeah,
so
I don't know if
Elon
he cared
Musk,
about that.
so Elon Musk, whose parents fled apartheid, and by that I mean apartheid ending, is now our modern equivalent.
Yeah.
Yay.
Good, very good, extremely good.
So this public ownage of Elon Musk by the coward Elon Musk continues because like he went into like complete like mad online like meltdown mode and started
He was
talking.
crytyping at one point, I
Yeah.
swear to God.
Oh my god, like, okay, so
All I
when
wanted
people
to do
were,
is
when
I'm
people were,
sorry I
unions.
busted unions.
when,
God, I'm shaking so
you're all
bad.
plagiarizing my tweet and I demand $1 from each of you. But,
I'm sorry, I didn't see your tweet. I would never do that on purpose.
Bust some unions. Girls start yelling at me. I'm sorry. I'm trying
I'm
to
trying to
remove it.
delete it. People were like in the aftermath of like the people calling Elon Musk out for his history of union busting. Were like doing that thing where they try to cozy up to like millionaires and billionaires on Twitter and like giving them like
Ugh.
like internet love and stuff like that. And people
Literally,
were, like,
do you want a hug?
yeah.
internets to you, good
No,
sir.
like literally, this person like tweeted at him like, "I'm so sorry. This must be such a hard time for you." And then like the hug in like the asterisks, and he literally responded like, "Yeah,
Ugh.
it's not going great right now," with like that little like sad,
Oh, poor you.
the really
He's not doing
pathetic looking
too good
frowny
right
emoji. And then someone replied to that talking about how like, it's okay, everybody. Here's how we could buy like Tesla stock, even if you can't afford shares. Like using this, like. Oh my god. So,
Hey, remember when people crowdfunded a couch for one of the richest people on Earth?
yeah, oh my god. So
That
Elon-
was, I believe that was mentioned last week, and I still can't
I
get
don't
over
give a
it.
shit.
Wait, what the fuck?
can't get over
I
it.
did not
Elon
hear
Musk
about
like
this.
was apparently notorious for having like a really shitty couch that was just like I don't even know what it was. It was like a mattress on like a table or some nonsense. And people crowdfunded him a couch on GoFundMe for like $35,000. Like,
Oh my god.
They fucking should
literally,
have crowdfunded him a couch
like-
that was like made of spikes. Now that's praxis.
Yeah,
That's
that's
like
praxis,
one of those
baby.
homeless people
Crowdfund
benches.
him a guillotine.
I mean, he really is the archetype of like the the billionaires who like exhibit one shred, like one iota of like maybe caring about the environment or whatever the fuck, and then the entire internet just falls over themselves trying to suck his dick.
you know what it
People
is?
cannot
You know what
stop
it is?
jacking him off.
It's that John Mulaney bit from his new special about how you can like pay money to see the enormous pile of money, or for an additional fee, your money can be added to the
Yeah.
giant pile of money.
Speaking of jacking off, I feel like I've been edging for this entire conversation. Can we please talk about his Verrit?
Okay, yeah. So Elon
How
Musk,
Elon Musk
had
invented
his
worse
Howard
Verrits.
Hughes meltdown, and now he wants to make Verrit 2 because he's convinced
He
that
wants
like
to make Verrit -1.
so he's
What if Verrit was
he's
stupider
got
and
this
worked
persecution complex now because he thinks like that the media is like dunking on Tesla and like calling him out for his union busting because there's profit in it for them, even though the number one, like, I think it was the person that did the most reporting, the organization that did the most reporting on Tesla's union busting was a non-profit. And so he's saying, I think I want to make a website that, like, collects information about journalists and press outlets and assigns them, like, a trustworthiness, like, rating, which is literally fucking Verrit. And apparently, Peter...
Well, no, it's worse than Verrit, because Verrit had their own, like, weird, shadowy council of verifiers.
It was literally just Peter Dow and his boxers.
The Council of
Yeah, it
Rich.
was just Peter Dow and his boxers. The one that Elon Musk is proposing is, like...
It's Reddit.
It's
He's proposing
Reddit, but
Reddit.
with facts.
Wait.
You upvote or downvote whether you think something
Vettit,
is true.
thank you.
Oh my god.
Oh fuck.
Also,
It's
I
Reddit.
think he said the name would be like, I think it was like the Russian word for truth.
Yeah, which is literally the name of Stalin's propaganda paper.
Oh, good. I didn't know that. That's good.
Like the second he announced it, I'm like, is someone gonna say it? Because Pravda was very much the name of the propaganda paper.
Yeah, but his
Well,
name's
I didn't know
Gary
that,
and he's
so-
a snail. So, upvotes please, gentle sirs.
Oh God, I forgot about that
This
shit.
would actually
Um,
make a pretty tight concept for like a dystopian book, like where everyone votes on what the truth is.
Yeah.
Well, we don't even need to write the book because he's doing it. It's gonna happen.
The
like,
the
next
Fahrenheit
year-
451 Amazon remake.
Like next year,
just-
fucking Elon Musk is gonna come out and be like, "I've got this really cool new system where like we do a lottery, and whoever wins the lottery gets stoned to death."
Remember how, like, 5 years ago, everyone was like, what if we lived in, like, the Hunger Games and now we do?
Yeah,
The thing about his idea that's so good is, here's what definitely would happen if he does this. someone with whatever reasoning for wanting to mislead people. I mean, maybe not even a reason. Maybe they're just a shitty asshole.
Maybe they
gonna
just want to
make
watch
a
the world
robot
burn.
that just votes.
Like-
it's just going to be like, are there more than two genders? And then someone's going to be like, an opportunity for me to rewrite facts. And then they put their robot in, and the robot's like, no. And then everyone goes, well, I guess there's not. Well,
I mean,
geez.
I feel like what would actually happen is the number one voted on item that would consistently be upvoted would just be Elon Musk accused of Drinko's pee-pee. And it would just, like, every time he would try to get it removed, someone would bring it back. And it would just be a constant stream
I get it, like the pee.
of the pee-pee.
Like,
He
for
likes
me,
the
like,
taste.
what I love about this is everything that's ever been crowdfunded online, like, it always ends up immediately getting ruined by morons. So, like, I'm just waiting until, like, people, you know, like that McDonald's build a burger thing where you could crowdsource, like, how to build a burger or whatever, and people
Yeah,
just
and
be
then
like,
someone
a
just
bag
makes
of
chunky.
lettuce. Yeah, it'll be like girth or a bag of lettuce or something. Like, that's all that is gonna be, is like immediately people voting on like stupid bullshit facts. Like, it'll be, is pee stored in the balls or some shit like that.
Yeah,
Will be like the
well, it's
number
just
one
like
post.
it's like how there was that one. It was like a GIF generator that made Madden GIFs,
Oh, yeah.
and they had to ban the word capitalism from it because people kept making anti-capitalist jokes. But then
wait,
they
wait,
didn't
wait.
ban communism.
Can I just? Did you guys see Peter Doe's epic clapback against Elon Musk?
Oh god,
I
what?
did, but I don't remember what it said. So
Okay,
please enlighten.
Peter Doe tweeted, apparently at Elon Musk wants to relaunch Verrit,
God.
which at Leela Dow and I have put on hiatus as I work on my first book. So let me say this directly. Dear Mr. Musk, feel free to fund at Verrit if you want to combat the mainstream media's spin and false narratives. It's like a shithead dumbass Ouroboros.
Today we will eat it, Peter Dow.
Today we will eat our own
Peter
tails.
Dow, welcome to the resistance.
Hold on, I think we're kind of misrepresenting what he's proposing this website would be, though, because I don't think that it's like people submit questions. And
Yeah,
they're
no.
like, "Do you think that
It's about
I think
press.
the idea is that it would be like news stories get posted to it, and people vote on whether they think they're real, honest reporting or if they think they're fake news.
You have to
exactly.
understand, though,
Which means
it's
that
funnier
That's
if
actually
they submit it.
stupider.
Yeah, it's
It's
for
like,
the
It
news
is stupider.
and
It's
for like
incredibly
news
stupid
outlets.
because what's guaranteed to happen is that anytime there's anything related to Trump, the fucking shithead MAGA idiots are just gonna come in and just mass downvote it, and then they're gonna be like, well, I guess that Trump doesn't drink those pee-pees.
Yeah, it's
So
like
we know he
media
does.
media critics are very much a thing that actually exists, and like
Whatever.
highly recommend the podcast Citations Needed to anyone because I've been like mainlining that the last couple of weeks.
Mm.
And it's just like Adam Johnson and Nima Shirazi, who are two media critics, essentially just going through a lot of like current topics and not necessarily directly discussing the topics, although they do get into that a lot, but mostly just talking about like how the media represents these topics. And it's a lot more interesting than Elon Musk's dumbass website idea.
Uh-huh.
Okay, but are there upvotes and downvotes?
No,
Then it's bad.
Is there Vetted Gold?
I don't
Vetted
like that.
Gold.
This is reminding
I'm
me
not
of
going to
some...
stop saying Vetted. You can't make me.
Vetted Gold episode title.
He's like literally Rick and Morty the
No.
person.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, he's very Rick in that
Oh,
he's a useless, smart asshole.
He's not even that smart. But anyway, there was another very funny thing that happened earlier where he put up like a Twitter poll that was talking about like, so Elon Musk posted a poll that says create a media credibility rating site, and in parentheses that also flags propaganda botnets. That's an important part of it. And the two options are yes, this would be good, and the other option is no, media are awesome.
I love the media.
Media are awesome.
Yeah, that's dumb. Was there anything else to talk about this week, or was this entire episode just going to be Elon dunks?
Hey, this isn't in the episode document, but can we talk about the fucking Arrested Development cast being absolute fucking morons?
Oh my god, I very much
only
like to talk
heard
about
a little bit about this. It sounds like a fucking bummer.
One thing you gotta know is that Aaliyah Shawkat is the best.
She's very good. So the very, very short version of what happened is that they gave an interview with, I want to say the Hollywood, no, this was the New York Times. And it was all of the cast except for, Portia de Rossi wasn't there. Michael Cera wasn't there.
And Michael Cera wasn't there.
Yeah. So they were talking about the Jeffrey Tambor allegations, and about
Was Jeffrey Tambor there?
Yes, he was there.
Which is fucking weird.
He was right fucking there, and they were talking about the allegations against him and like his behavior on set, and how he talked about how he had an outburst against Jessica Walters on the set of Arrested Development, and he talked about this in an interview with a Hollywood Reporter recently. Like, this came out like because he volunteered the information, and so Jessica Walters started talking about it, and she was like crying or close to tears, and saying, you know, in all, you know, you keep saying that this is like normal in show business. All of you keep saying this, but in the 60 years that I've been in show business, I have never had this happen to me. No one on a set has ever yelled at me like this. And Jason Bateman and Will Arnett are fucking doing damage control and saying like, well, you know, when you're working, you know, in this industry, when you're doing all this weird stuff on set and you're being like these fake people, you know, sometimes weird things happen and like, you know, it just like happens. And like,
Jesus Christ.
And the only like voice of dissent is Aaliyah, Shawkat? Yeah. Being like, but that doesn't excuse it. And like repeatedly like making this, assertion while all of the men involved talk over her. And it fucking sucks. And David Cross, like, the king asshole idiot of the world, is also there and, like, was probably doing maybe the most to talk over her. Him and Jason Bateman in particular were both awful.
Yeah.
I am
like, they're basically just, like, actively gaslighting her.
Yeah!
Because they keep, like, trying to, like, change how the story went.
Who the fuck is Jason Bateman to tell Jessica Walters how show business works? He was a fucking zygote when she started working.
Yeah, like it's really, but like also props for to Sopan Deb, who's the person who wrote the piece and did the interview, for framing the whole interview in a way that made all of them look like assholes.
Yeah.
Like he didn't try to couch this in a way that made any of them look good, other than Aaliyah Shawkat.
Yeah.
And Jessica Walters, who, like, did nothing wrong here, clearly.
So I also saw something earlier today where, David Cross apparently was saying, like, how he wanted to apologize for Jessica Walter, for how he, you know, spoke to her in that interview. And I'm just gonna read this off with, you know, no lead-in. Listen. Yeah. I don't know outside of what I can speculate, just being on Twitter now for over a year and a half, and knowing what the situation is, I assume it's a lot like, well, it's like what you said. You encapsulated it. I agreed with Alia that there was no excuse. There's never been an excuse ever for yelling at somebody and humiliating them in front of other people. And there was no excuse when Jessica did it. To Jessica's credit, she eventually apologized to the actress and felt bad about it. Jeffrey did as well, but it was a bigger deal. And there were more people in the room, and it was an extremely uncomfortable moment. So basically, like, I'm so sorry, Jessica Walters. Nobody should ever yell at anybody on set. Like you did, you big hypocrite.
What?
But you have to understand, he was playing a character.
Yeah, God, remember? He also, like, just apologized for saying a bunch of racist shit to Charlene.
He didn't even really apologize. He was just like, I'm sorry she didn't realize that I was doing my racist bit. Yeah, like,
God,
you know what it is racist in
prank,
public?
Bro?
Yeah, like, why are you getting so offended, you dumb idiot?
God, I wish he would shut up.
Yeah, like, how is that a fucking defense? Like, I'm sorry that I was racist to this person, but in my defense...
in the words of David Cross himself, shut up, you stupid fucking baby.
Speaking of David Cross, do you remember that scene in Arrested Development when he did the funny, like, we're having a fire sale?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
Anyone want to talk about the fire sale of the
the commemorative coins?
Yeah, coins.
Oh yes, absolutely.
That was a beautiful transition, by the way.
That was very good. Thank you.
That was a really incredible transition, Sam. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Let's just end the episode right there.
Something strange. Sleeping in your bed.
You were transitioning into nothing.
Put it in the fucking Guggenheim.
Here's Bustin.
Anyway, who wants to talk about those coins?
Me, this bitch. Which coins are you talking about there? Are you talking about loonies and toonies?
Oh my god.
Or the elusive Threenis.
You know, I went to 2 other countries over the past, like, a couple of weeks, and I never handled a single piece of foreign money, and I feel like there's a real missed opportunity there. I never even touched a toonie.
See, the thing about Canada is that we just all, like, tap our debit cards everywhere. Like, no one uses cash anymore.
It was like that in Iceland, too. Every single place that I went had fucking tap and pay, and then I came back to the States, and it's like we're in the fucking Stone Age.
And you guys still have fucking pennies. I can't believe that shit.
It's so weird.
Oh, speaking of coins.
So, you know that there was going to be the summit, with Kim Jong-un and, where was it? It was going to be in, can somebody give me the location of the, Korea summit?
I think it was going to be in, I think it was going to be in
prompt.
Shanghai.
Okay. Yeah,
Can anyone give me a location where a summit would happen?
Yeah, so it was the Shanghai
Mount
Summit,
Everest.
and the official White House like fucking merch store was selling commemorative coins.
The White House street team.
They were Anybody want a
President
souvenir
Trump
coin?
meet and
Anybody
greet.
want a souvenir coin? $5.
President Trump
So they
meet
were
and
selling
greet.
these commemorative coins to celebrate like President Donald Trump single-handedly forging peace between the Koreas, I guess. And
That's amazing that he can do it single-handedly, considering how small his hands are.
Oh shit!
Oh.
And
Got him.
it was like, you know when you stay up way too late and those infomercials come on about the, like, United States Congress commemorative collectible coins, and it's like these big gaudy coins that are worthless, but they claim that they're going to be a collector's item. So it was like that kind of thing, and they were selling them for like $25 a piece, and they were like, hey, just so you know, even if the summit doesn't happen, we're still gonna sell these coins, and, like, you can cancel your order, but basically saying, like, but you're gonna regret it. It was, like, true, like, fans of Donald Trump will want to keep these coins regardless of whether or not the summit happens. So the summit didn't happen. Could somebody talk about the summit not happening?
Yeah, so Trump, like, put out, an open letter to Kim Jong-un or whatever, where he accused him of being problematic. He called him out, where he was like, Kim Jong-un, I saw what you said about me, and I thought it was very rude, and I didn't appreciate it. And, I really was looking forward to this peace thing, but, you said that thing about your nuclear weapons, but the U.S.'s nuclear weapons, we have so many, and they're so beautiful and powerful, and I pray to God that we never have to use them.
That's barely an exaggeration.
That's like almost word for word.
Yeah.
What I love is how extremely Trump voice, like, the whole actual letter is.
So
I think
he wrote it.
Normally, I doubt that stuff was written by him, but when I saw him, talk about how beautiful the nukes were, I was like, he might have actually written this.
It sounds like Barron wrote it.
Like, he totally does
No, it
say at
sounds
the
like
end,
Trump wrote it.
you may
I don't
have...
think Barron's that stupid.
No,
Like,
wait, actually, if Barron wrote it, there would have been at least one mention of Minecraft.
It's always so surreal when you're just slapped in the face by how dumb he really is.
No, it's not.
For me it is.
To me, it's just like, I've accepted it at this point, personally. He is my president, and he's not your president, I think is the difference. I'm trying so hard
I mean,
to
he
find
is
this.
literally not 3 out of the 5 people here's president.
Well,
Because
he's...
we are
I'd say
majority
that's
Canadian
true.
again this week.
I'd say he's
Where
not
did it all
5
go
out of the
wrong?
5 people here's president. Am I right? Hashtag
Hey.
resist. Anyway.
Okay, I found the letter. Okay.
Do the voice.
Oh God, I don't do a good Trump voice though.
Yeah,
Just imagine that you have a
love your
huge
Trump
ass.
voice.
Just say the words Trump
don't
voice
gotta
before you
imagine.
start reading the rest of the letter.
Trump voice. We greatly appreciate. Let me find.
Your mind does the
let's
work.
see here. We were informed that the meeting was requested by North Korea, but that to us is totally irrelevant. It's like almost as bad as the Simpsons Trump voice.
No, that's why I love it.
It's not that bad.
It's good to me. Continue.
Sadly, based on the tremendous anger and open hostility displayed in your most recent statement, I feel it is inappropriate at this time to have this long-planned meeting. Please let this letter serve to represent that the Singapore summit, for the good of both parties, but to the detriment of the world, I guess it was in Singapore, will not take place. Okay, here it is. You talk about your nuclear capabilities, but ours are so massive and powerful that I pray to God they will never have to be used.
Oh, he's cranking
Oh
it.
my god.
Yeah, so that's Trump cranking it.
He wrote that with
thank you,
one
thank you.
hand.
I can't believe that's the actual wording.
Yep, that is word for word. I felt a wonderful dialogue that was building up between you and me, and ultimately it is only that dialogue that matters. Someday I look very much forward to meeting you. In the meantime, I want to thank you for the release of the hostages who are now home with their families. That was a beautiful gesture and was very much appreciated.
But, by the way, don't cross us or we'll destroy you to hell.
Yeah, basically.
If you change your mind having to do with this most important summit, please do not hesitate to call me or write. The world, and North Korea in particular, has lost a great opportunity for lasting peace and great prosperity and wealth. This missed opportunity is a truly sad moment in history.
God.
Sincerely yours.
Okay, the thing about this
His signature sucks so bad.
it sucks really bad. But okay, I was reading something.
It looks like someone dying with a heart monitor.
This is someone
looks like
dying under an MRI.
someone dying under the
Tragically
MRI.
It's the
beautiful.
Castle Arg.
Oh wait, sorry, that's not Donald Trump's signature. That's a still image from The Walking Dead. My bad.
Oh no,
Is
yes.
this reference too
Someone
specific?
dying under the MRI machine.
Googled someone dying under the MRI.
Did you not fucking hear me say that?
Okay, one thing that people were worried about with this statement is that it would impact the North Korea-South Korea reunification talks, but for as far as I can tell, they're mostly still on for those, despite the fact that the US is being a giant babies about it.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't part of the issue with the US's response to this that they said, like, one of the conditions is that there's no nuclear weapons on the peninsula whatsoever, and I think that the US
hasn't
has
said
some.
anything about that yet, though. But we
Okay,
know that
so
that's the sticking point.
If we pretend we didn't hear it, maybe they can let us keep our nukes there.
Yeah, okay, but like the one big thing I wanted to talk about with regard to this is
Trump's ass.
no, not Trump's ass.
His
for once.
enormous eeks.
It's basically the thawing of relations between North and South Korea has had a lot of impact on reunification efforts. And one city in particular was like a really, really populous city prior to the Korean War. It was called Hamhung, and it's where my friend Matt's family is from. And I'm actually going to share an article about it on the HKIP Facebook page, just because it was on Facebook that he posted it originally. And basically, reunification talks, at the very least, are going to start getting delayed by Americans being really shitty about this. And Hamhung is like, it's a population, like currently over 700,000, still a lot of people. And people related, like single families have like 6,000 members signing up for this list of people who want to be reunified. And the average age of people on this list are 80s, in their 80s. So like, these are people who have waited their entire lives for some manner of peace to happen. And it's going to get delayed or pushed back or canceled entirely because President Yeeks wants to throw a fucking temper tantrum. And it's like even more horrifying than it already looks on the surface, and it fucking sucks.
Wait, so here's my question. He sort of barely addresses it in the actual letter. What is his actual reason, his actual stated reason for
what the fuck's he
delaying
talking
the
about?
Oh, yeah, I think I might have skipped past it, I think. He says...
No, he does say
I
it,
was
it's just
very
not
much looking
super
forward to-
clear.
I was
Yeah,
very
like-
much looking forward to being there with you. Sadly, based on the tremendous anger and open hostility displayed in your most recent statement, I feel it is inappropriate at this time to have this long planned
Yeah, but what
meeting.
was that statement?
Well,
'Cause
yeah,
I
right.
don't think I saw
He's
it.
vague posting about this.
Subtweeting, you might say.
I think Kim Jong-un might have said that Trump didn't have the fattest ass in America.
That is host of the show, Lulu.
44 minutes ago, Kim Jong-un says that he's still willing to meet Trump after that.
Well,
Alright.
What I love is that Kim Jong-un is like, I
He's
don't
the
not to be
reasonable
like,
one.
yeah, not to be like
Yeah,
super liberal.
That's the great thing, is that Trump is such a fucking dumbass baby that Kim Jong-un is like, okay, one of us has to be the adult here.
Yeah. I think I said something about like the Trump and the United States being being such a big fucking baby that it might be catalyzing North and South Korea to be like, okay, like we gotta get our shit together. Like we gotta solve this because fucking before like President Baby fucks this up even worse than it already is.
I mean, say what you will about Trump, but like he does have a fat ass.
enough
That's
of this.
the only thing that we do say about Trump.
We do say
here
that.
we go. This from the New York Times says, Hours before Mr. Trump's announcement, North Korea had blown up an underground nuclear testing site before foreign journalists gathered to witness the demolition. It was the latest in a series of gestures by the North meant to smooth the way for a summit meeting. And then Trump didn't like that.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
It's just, I think he's like such a hard-on for
Yep.
like war on the peninsula that he just refuses to take. This is like an actual option. He's just gonna force it to be war so he can say, "Oh, look, I told you guys, we gotta fucking bomb them or whatever."
Yeah.
I mean, if my understanding of this story is correct, it sounds like they were in the process of getting rid of nuclear weapons on the peninsula, and he said that that was like a statement of aggression and violence that he won't stand for.
I think he just saw the word explosion and got confused because his brain is made of fucking pudding.
He was listening to explosions in
Yeah.
the sky and thought that they were real.
I bet Trump listens to explosions in the sky. You nailed
Hey,
it.
He would listen to the normie post rock.
oh, fuck off.
He watched the remake of Red Dawn on TV, where they like hastily recast the villains as North Koreans, I think.
They did indeed.
Sarah is currently in the Discord getting mad at you saying
Yeah.
normie post rock, and
She's so fucking
her response
mad.
is explosions in all caps. Fuck you. Explosions in the sky is fine.
Take care is good. And then at Sam, blow my dick.
Why at me? What did I didn't
don't
say
know.
anything.
You know, I'm just imagining Trump reading
I've
the word
never
explosions
listened
and
to
just like
explosions in the sky.
leaping out of his desk and tripping over his own dick to write that letter.
Anyway, let's talk more about post rock.
Anybody here like Slint's Spiderland?
Wow, you like that album too? So I also enjoy Slint's Spiderland.
It's a good album.
It is. It's a very good album.
I
I've
don't
never
really listen
heard
to
of
much
music.
post rock.
I think
it's just like such a commitment to listen to a post rock album, you know?
Just listen to F Sharp, A Sharp, Infinity by a Canadian anarchist post-rock band, Godspeed You Black Emperor, who's performing in Sudbury, by the way, soon. Well, one of them is. It's going to be good. Listen to that one, and it's extremely good.
Right,
Just
I
that
forgot
one.
fucking Ephraim Minook's coming up. That's going to be sick as hell.
Yeah, he's
Wow, I
performed-
didn't realize
my-
it was time for Lightbringers.
My experience with F Sharp, A Sharp, Infinity was I listened to it when I was, I think, like 16. And in that moment, I was like, this means everything.
In this
And I was
moment,
like,
you
this
were
is the greatest
euphoric?
thing I'd ever heard. And then the second it ended, I didn't remember a single thing about it. And then I haven't listened to it since. Okay, so I assume everyone here has heard, that Trump made that tweet where he was like, MS-13 are animals, whatever.
Yeah.
And then there was the shitty response where obviously a lot of people were making the correct response, which is like, hey, don't do this.
Wasn't it
But then
originally
other-
that he just said, like, these people coming over, like, from Mexico aren't even people, they're animals, and then
Yeah, he
later
said they're not
clar-
people, they're
Right,
animals.
but then
And
he
now
had to
that's
li-
official policy.
But then didn't he have to later clarify that he was referring to MS-13 and not just, like, people?
Yeah, he very much did.
I think his original comment was explicitly about MS-13.
Okay.
No, he literally
Pretty
just
sure.
said the people coming over the border are not, they're not even people,
okay.
they're animals, and then he clarified later because he's a fucking fascist.
I mean, it doesn't really matter because, like, their policy is treating everyone who is brown as if they're a member of MS-13.
Yeah.
Oh,
The guy
yeah.
who, like, had a tattoo of the name of the town he was born in, they're like, oh, you're from MS-13? Okay.
Yeah, that's a gang tattoo.
MS-13 is like the new boogeyman. Like how it
Yeah.
used to be like...
Well, he heard of it probably from one of his white nationalist friends, and
Yeah.
now he thinks that every Mexican is in MS-13.
I had never,
Okay,
maybe this makes me an idiot, but I had never heard of MS-13 prior to this.
I
I mean,
heard
I
about
haven't
it like,
either.
yeah, like, I heard about it like, really? Like, I heard about it like 5 or 10 years ago. But back then, I think it was just some op-ed piece of like, here's a gang that's, operating on some border towns or something like that.
Well,
I
that's
mean,
the thing about MS-13 is they are like notoriously like
they're
violent.
They're
and
scary.
brutal.
They're
Yeah.
scary people. Like, I mean, yeah, like not to downplay the fact that they are like a pretty scary, violent gang, but like it has become like a catchword for just like brown people.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's
Right.
just like how
And-
like the FBI's official like gang association criteria is like wears
black.
black, has known a single gang member in his life, wears certain colors, like
Yeah.
lives on this street, and then you just have to
Lives
like
anywhere.
Yeah, you have to meet two
is
of the...
bothering me.
You have to meet 2 of any of, 15
Is giving me
criteria to be officially
botherations.
declared a gang member, and it's so fucking easy that I could be.
Wait, really?
Well, you are. Anyway, the M stands for Matt,
Fuck.
and the S stands for Sam.
It's our gang.
It stands for
It's ours.
Mystery Science 13. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anyway, okay, so yeah, he made that statement, and then some shitheads were like, is this really the hill you want to die on, defending the humanity of violent gang members? And it's like, I'm not going
first
to
of
die
all,
on that hill
yeah.
because I'm very strong, but like,
And I have such good balance.
I do think that we shouldn't dehumanize humans.
Even
There
if
was
they're
a guy,
evil
there was a
humans.
priest who responded to that exact tweet and said, actually, the hill to die on was Golgotha, and the guy who died on it was making that point.
Huh.
There you go. Thanks, God. Okay, so this White House press release titled "What You Need to Know About the Violent Animals of MS-13,"
Jesus Christ.
and it doesn't fucking matter the content of it. It's just scary, spooky stories to tell your kids at night.
Scary
to keep
stories
them
to
from
tell
going
in the
to-
dark.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. And the thing about it,
It's spooky,
Is-
scary
Let's
Mexicans.
Oh,
nice.
Same
you.
hat.
I mean, almost. You did say Mexicans, and I very much did not.
I mean, I was
So
I was following the joke.
The thing about
I just
the
like
thing
to
about
sing the song.
press release is that it does very much, not just in the title, but I think 8 to 10 times throughout the text of the press release, it repeatedly refers to the MS-13 animals. 2 MS-13 animals did this. There in January, some MS-13 animals. It just repeats the phrase over and over, and it's really transparently it's basically trying to push the Overton window to the right.
They're just doubling
To-
down.
I mean, that's
On-
what all media does all the time, let alone the
Yeah.
actual president.
But they're doing it very, very unsubtly. They're just trying to saturate us with the phrase MS-13 animals until we don't care anymore. It's a very...
I already don't
It's honestly
care.
pretty fucking scary to see the White House, trying so hard to dehumanize people, because boy, are they not going to slow down here.
I mean, we talked about this last episode, I think, when we were like, this is exactly what, governments do right before they commit genocide, historically.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What, you mean just
scapegoat.
dehumanizing this othered group?
Yeah,
they
it's-
essentially
it's-
they scapegoat and then they create a catch-all so that more people are basically grabbed in that net.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's pretty scary, honestly.
It's
It's
so fucking
really
obvious, and
Disturbing to see.
And it's also very scary in the context of the government is also planning to round up immigrant children that they've separated from their families and keep them in what are essentially internment camps on U.S. military bases. And
Yeah.
I don't know if you heard this, but I was seeing reports on Twitter that I haven't fully looked through yet, but apparently I think the Arizona police, or maybe it was a branch of ICE operating out of Arizona, just lost a bunch of immigrant children that they separated from their families.
normal,
Yeah, not at all suspicious.
just an incredibly normal thing to happen.
Mm-hmm. We don't know where they went.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what to say to that.
It's bad and I don't like it.
Did I see something about, ICE being empowered to destroy records of, abuse and assault?
They've been empowered to do pretty much whatever they want for quite a while now.
Yeah.
Quite a while, being since 2003, which is when they were founded.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't remember if we talked last episode or if it hadn't happened yet about the head of ICE crying about how mean people are to ICE.
Was it the head of ICE or was it his wife? I thought I saw something like that, and it's just they send mean mail to our house. Either way, eat shit and die.
It was the former ICE director.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why are they so mean to us? I just want to
just
support
wanted
immigrant
to-
children.
Anyway, yeah, it's good, and I feel really bad for them, and I'm gonna cry too when I think about the plight of ICE.
Yeah. We should crowdfund for ICE.
Why? You can just
We
get it
should.
at the local convenience store.
My
da-da-da-da.
freezer has some in it. That's a lie.
You don't.
I mean,
have
I'll just
ice?
go be brown. I'll just go be brown in Arizona, and I'm sure they'll show up.
Yeah, because it's
Arizona good.
It's like, I'm pretty sure being brown in Arizona, they literally are like, hey, that's probable cause for a search.
Right?
Yeah. Thanks, Joe.
Are y'all ready for some football?
I am ready
Nope.
for some football.
I call it football.
Oh, me too. Thanks.
I call it feet ball, because you use both.
Uh-huh.
So that's going to do it for us this week.
That was the whole bit. I don't have any.
Take an ad break.
Hulu.
And we're back.
Legit, though, I do want to actually put an ad for other shows on our network at the end of the show once I actually get this network into something that's functional.
Once we have a network, I'd like to advertise for the network.
We have a network. It's called Noise Space, dumbass.
Yeah, dipshit. There are
Yeah.
other shows on this network that update.
Dope.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, there's one of them, and it's called Island Shuffle.
It's called
about
Elite
Lost.
Full Restore, and it updates a lot.
No, it's the ones that update are us, Island Shuffle, and Stuck in the Middle with You. They're the only 3 that update.
Oh, I forgot
Wait,
about that one.
what is Island Shuffle?
It's a Lost podcast where they watch a random episode of Lost every week.
It's extremely good.
Wait, is that literally the premise?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that
It's
rules.
it's completely on shuffle.
See, Sam has such a good poker voice that I, like, genuinely couldn't tell.
And as long as we're advertising other podcasts, Stuck in the Middle with You, if I remember correctly, is a show where they discuss movies that have a 50% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. I'm
Absolutely,
pretty sure.
that is
Yeah.
exactly what they do.
And,
It's
and
friend
that's
of the
Juan's
show,
podcast,
Juan,
right?
yeah,
and
Juan,
who else?
Juan and Derek.
Oh, okay.
Juan, who is good, and Derek, who I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know you, Derek. Sorry.
He's
Juan
the one
good.
I did my 2 episodes of my Canadian podcast with.
I saw the other day, like, the latest post from that Canada podcast. It was like, all right, it's been a while, but the long-awaited second episode, and that was like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I can't wait to
Podcasting
see
is
how
hard.
you introduce the third episode.
It's gonna be with What the Fuck Is Up Gamers, you know it.
Oh, I don't know why I even asked. Okay, were we going to talk about footballs?
Yeah.
So the NFL is bad, and I don't like it, and they're racist.
Finally. So what was the thing that, like, kicked this off? Didn't, like, something come out that people had said, people, like, in the NFL had said that Colin Kaepernick was...
Yeah, they there was a thing that came, I don't know what the relation of that to this is, but there was I don't remember what exactly it was, but, a sort of polling or, like, internal documents or something like that, of various team owners in the NFL, and apparently that they were all considering...
They basically all said that they would want to have Colin Kaepernick on their team.
as a starting QB, specifically. So, like, basically proof in writing or whatever,
That he is actually good.
Yeah, and that all this talk of him actually being secretly bad at football, and no, we're not racist for completely deplatforming him, is completely then no platforming him because he's anti-police
Was
violence.
it a poll of owners or of coaches?
It was
Shit.
owners, I think.
Anyway, point being, I assume that's what sparked this, is that thing came out, because not long
It's
after
possible,
that, I'm
but
pretty
I don't
sure
know
it might
for
have been it might have been the other order, but for whatever reason, good old Donnie Trump decided that it was time to start talking about kneeling during the national anthem again,
Mm-hmm.
because that's still relevant.
Well, you gotta know, it's disrespectful to the flag and to the anthem, specifically, and not to anything else.
And but specifically what he said was that people who don't stand on the field and, like, salute or whatever during the national anthem should be kicked out of the country.
Wasn't that after?
After what?
Like, after this announcement was made about the new NFL, like, policy?
What's the policy?
Oh my god.
Did I miss something?
Yes!
Oh, you
yeah,
did.
the NFL announced new rules saying that now players will be required to, like, quote, be respectful, unquote, during the national anthem. But they're removing the requirement that players need to take the field for the anthem. So now if a player wants to,
Stay in the locker room.
yeah, they can stay in the locker room until after the anthem is over. Which they used to be able to do, in the first place. Like, I saw something very interesting, on Twitter the other day, and I'm trying to find it right now. Basically saying how this idea that, like, oh, the close intermingling of, like, the NFL and, like, patriotism is a very recent thing. Okay, so here it is from
the people were talking about that when he was get that son of a bitch off, when that was the Trump quote.
So it says
like the military, I think it was like in the aftermath of 9/11.
Yeah, I have the thing right here. So it says this is from Jamel Hill, who's the senior correspondent and columnist for The Undefeated. The NFL's policy on players standing for the national anthem also changed in 2009, with athletes, quote, encouraged, unquote, thereafter to participate. Prior to that, teams were not given any specific instructions on the matter. Some chose to remain in the locker room until after opening ceremonies were completed. And then, as a parenthetical, it's unclear whether the policy change was implemented as a direct result of Defense Department contracts. So basically...
But it almost certainly was.
But it was.
Right. But before 2009, like, players were not even encouraged, like, in any official capacity to participate in, like, the national anthem.
This is a lot like, you know, people talking about abolishing ICE, in that they make it seem like it's been a thing for a lot longer than it has.
Right, like, how were we supposed to get by without ICE? We've always had ICE since
2003.
Yeah, and it's like, I remember being a person prior to 2009.
Musk and Gates, and now I don't know, fucking know.
But it's like, I can actively, like,
why can't I have no ice and 3 money?
how I generally refer to how long ago something was is if I can imagine being a person prior to it. And it's like, I can imagine being a person prior to 2009.
Yeah, barely, but yeah.
I mean,
barely. I didn't even have a Tumblr account yet, but like...
I mean, I'm like the youngest person on this podcast, and I can remember that.
You pre-2009.
Well, yeah, because we went to high school together. That's easy.
We're all living in hyper time, though, so everything that's more than a couple of years ago feels like 40 years ago.
What a wonderful time when I didn't know any of you.
Yeah, just one thing I wanted to say before we close out this topic is basically they were going to try to institute a 15-yard penalty instead of fines, because the players' union would have to vote on it if it was going to be fines, but they don't have to do that with a yard penalty.
So they're going to fuck with the,
which is very good.
Playing of the game.
Sorry, to be clear, penalty for not being respectful during the national anthem.
Right, for kneeling or for otherwise not showing respect. So this decision was made with only consulting owners, not consulting the players' union.
Yes.
So that's pretty cool.
It's good.
I mean, in this one instance, I do think that it's better. The yard penalty is better than the fine, I think.
It is.
I think the Jets owner said that he'll pay any fine that his players incur for, you know, being disrespectful during the national anthem, which is pretty cool. But also NFL's still bad.
All owners are still bad, but you could be a better owner.
Host of the show, Brooks, said that in response to this, Vince McMahon is now scrambling to find a way to make the XFL even more racist.
Yeah, because that was going to be the XFL's thing.
Yeah, it was going to be the racist football league.
Yeah,
fuck, they stole our racism. God damn it.
We should have filed that trademark for racism.
Shall we move on to questions?
Yes, please. If you'd like to ask us questions, please send them to hkipgtd.tumblr.com/ask. If you send them to our email or Twitter, we will forget to read them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Or don't. I'm a sign, not a cop.
Good Simpsons reference. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. We're all
late
about
season
today.
Simpsons at that.
What?
Tumblr user literally a fat hairy lesbian says.
Good URL.
CW shooting talk. My mom's new boyfriend believes in paid actors and... Oh, God. I'm so sorry already. Believes in paid actors in school shootings, and it frustrates me, and I genuinely do not understand how someone can be so callous and willing to believe in secret staged deaths than willing to believe we have a problem with guns in our society and their ease of access when kids' lives are on the line. How do I explain to him that this conspiracy theory isn't even remotely true? This is something I've actually thought about a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like
can I say
flat
one thing?
eartherism.
The best, I think, like logical argument against this is just, how would you ever get that many people to keep a secret? This is
exactly.
This is the silver bullet against all conspiracy theories.
It's an entire town, basically, because the idea of them being paid actors, all of that hinges on when it inevitably is showing up in the media and like on TV, and there's pictures of these people who are allegedly paid actors. Anyone from that town would go, hey, I've never seen that anyone from that
Yeah.
school would say,
Yeah.
I've never seen that person before.
Oh, yeah.
Anyone from that
Who
school
is David
would know that
Hogg-Vorbis?
anyone from that school would know that the shooting never happened. Every single person from the school would have to be in on it, which would basically mean that there's two possibilities. One, the entire school just never sees this on the media or thinks to be like, well, that's weird, none of us know that person, and also we know that the shooting didn't happen. Or the other possibility is that this entire town of people is in on it, and all of these children have been raised from birth to be prepared to pretend that they're in on the shooting that didn't really happen. Like, it doesn't make any fucking sense when you think about it for even 1 second.
And the thing is, thinking about this in the context of this particular school shooting is especially weird because, like, on a local level, they're not even taking it as a, like, guns did this kind of thing. They're all still very much pro-gun in this town.
Yeah.
Like, the whole community.
Which is depressing in its own fun way.
Like, because,
Yeah.
it's depressing, but it's also, like, the way that, like, these people were all raised. They associate guns with, like, hunting and, like, sportsmanship, and they're like, it sucks that this happened, and, like, obviously we're sad that our friend died, but, like, we don't think that, like, guns are the reason, because he just used his father's guns anyway, and his father had the guns legally.
The actual reason is literally just incels.
And Nazis.
Because it was another fucking incel shooting.
He was a Nazi incel.
I wish I could see any sort of, like, commonality between all these shootings, but man, I'm just really stupid, I guess.
And it was literally, like, not just, like, he was an incel, but, like, this was specifically because, like, his motive was a girl rejected him, yeah.
It is pretty fun that people are more willing, a lot of the time, to believe in a conspiracy than they are to believe that, like, Nazis are bad.
And that men can be bad.
Well,
that can't be right. It's probably crisis actors. Also, another thing that always gets me about the crisis actors thing is the idea of, like, child actors who are talented enough to portray such real-looking grief that they would have the entire nation fooled, and they're using their talent in a way that they can never, like, have an acting career because they're throwing they're like signing their life away to be a conspiracy doer.
Yeah, God, this is really funny because we've literally said all this shit verbatim on the show before.
Have we? I knew that I had talked about it on Discord. I couldn't remember.
Yeah, but Zach, it was about a different shooting.
Oh, that's right. So we time resets itself.
We can say the same thing over and over, just like the Onion reposts their "No way to prevent this" says only nation where this regularly happens.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, like, the actual president of the United States can barely keep a lid on, like, a tape involving, like, 3 people of them pissing on him. So I don't understand how anyone thinks the government could, like, keep a lid on an entire city getting, like, you know, faking a fucking school shooting.
That's the thing, though. That's the thing about the conspiracy that's so confusing to me, is because they don't believe the government is doing it, because the government are the ones who have the power to change the laws if they wanted.
Right, they think that it's like some shadow
the only
organization.
People who would have a reason to do this is some shadowy group of lib cucks.
Obama's secret council, like, in the
If George Soros had the money to pay all those crisis actors, we wouldn't still have an open Patreon slot for him.
Oh my God.
George Soros, where's our $15,000 a month?
I don't understand how nobody ever notices that when you see those shooting scenes, one of the kids always is very clearly just Obama, like, with a t-shirt and a backwards baseball cap.
Hello, fellow kids.
hold it with a shirt that says "Music Lightning Bolt Band."
I'm the new kid. I like to skateboard.
I just rewatched that recently. It's not as funny as I remembered.
Okay.
Wait,
to try and answer, like, the last part of this, which was, like, how do I explain to him? I mean, you probably can't. Because, like, this
that's probably true.
Shit like this is like...
It's very, I don't know how to tell you should care about other people.
Yeah,
just
like,
give him a solid fucking kick.
It's like flat eartherism, where it's like the fact that they are able to believe in so buck wild and completely, like, like, just I can't even fathom how they even get their head around it to the point that they can say the words out loud that they believe in this thing. So they're probably way too far gone to even be within reach of explanation.
Here's another point, though. any group that could do this crisis actors conspiracy that they think is happening would have such an unimaginable amount of resources in this country where you can buy politicians for money.
That they would just be like
That
fucking
would be
lobbyists.
much
Why wouldn't Why wouldn't they just buy the politicians and be like, you know, for $5 million, you actually don't like guns anymore? They'd be like, yes, sir.
Yeah.
It's bad to think about. I'm really glad that you could just pay for politics. It's good.
I'm glad too. Next question comes from Tumblr user Bialystock and Bloom, who says, I just wanted to call your attention to the fact that the White House, the actual literal White House, put out a cutesy little tongue-in-cheek video on the Yanny Laurel debate in which dangerous Donald Trump actually said the word "Kafifi" with his mouth, and also to remind you that we live in a hell world. Follow up. If they got Trump to say Kafifi, do you guys think you could get him to talk about his yeeks?
He didn't even pronounce it right, and I'm so
He
mad.
said
He did pronounce it.
Kafefi.
He pronounced it
Kofefi,
which is incorrect.
I'm pretty sure that ended up like 4th on our rating scale when we rated
It's
the different
one of the
pronunciations.
least valid ways to pronounce
It's the worst way to say it. Do you think that we could get Trump to do a like Oppan President Style video?
we could get him to do anything if we got him in a room for 1 hour.
Do you think it was like the thing that I noticed with like this Laurel Yanny video is like the segment featuring him, it does very much feel like he was like held at gunpoint to do it, which, you know, obviously
just like the kid from Oppan
exactly.
Style.
Yeah.
That's also how Sarah Huckabee Sanders looked, trying to smile like a person.
Oh my god, it's the worst video, and anyone who hasn't seen it, don't
Wait,
watch
did we not
it,
talk
but I know
about it
that
last
you're going
week?
to.
I think they mentioned it briefly, but
Yeah.
this question wasn't there yet.
The
so.
fucking like Kellyanne Conway being like, I hear Laurel, but I'm willing to deflect to Yanny if required, and like smiling, like, do you get it? Like I'm a big fake liar.
You should be in prison.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. We have a question actually in the podcast chat from Star. I feel like we should answer that. Who wants to know, what the fuck is post-rock?
Post-rock is a genre where they use, all of the albums are 3 hours long, and it's very capital A artistic, and it doesn't sound like music, and it's boring and bad.
Wrong. Donald Trump voice wrong, but okay.
It's like,
the idea is essentially just using rock instruments in an atmospheric way. That's like the general meaning of it.
I'm not anti-post-rock, I'm just being a douchebag.
From the years 2008 to 2015, if you ever got like dragged out to a bar to see a band that you didn't know, it's probably post-rock. that whole sound.
It's not a genre I listen to very often, but there's a lot of good post-rock.
There is.
Anyway. Oh shit, what was I going to say? I was going to say something about Kafifi or Yanny Laurel. Oh, I wanted to say about Yanny Laurel, how much I hate that fucking thing.
Yeah.
For, God, I've been seeing so much stuff on Twitter that's like, move over, Yanny Laurel, and then it's like a 10-year-old YouTube video of like misheard Fall Out Boy lyrics.
Okay,
and
wait.
It's like, is he saying, there was, oh so intricate or also into cats?
There was
like,
one
please.
that like legitimately I thought was incredible, which was a, I don't remember what it was. It was a selection from a song featuring Rihanna, and there's a part where you can either hear I'm a paper chaser or I'm a big fucking slut. Which, like, it was absolutely incredible.
Okay, now that's kind of funny.
That's actually really funny. But see, like mondegreens are such.
It would have been even funnier when
thing.
I was 12 years old.
Like mondegreens, which is misheard lyrics.
Yeah.
Have been they're like the earliest internet thing. Like Neil Cicerega's animutations are built on mondegreens, and those are from 2001.
It's like
they predate 9/11.
Like everyone used to make that joke about give peace a chance sounded like he was saying give Jesus pants. That's like a that.
And
that's
you know, excuse me while I kiss this guy. Like,
yeah, it goes back for like 40 years.
Wait a minute. Neil Cicierega's animations predate 9/11.
Yeah, they very much do.
Yeah.
Coincidence? Anyway, Tumblr user Argyle Funk says, "Dear Hikip, how dare you talk about Penn Jillette and not discuss his patent for a bathtub that has special equipment specifically for water blasting someone's pussy until they orgasm?"
I'm going to try to read this question and
Argyle.
not laugh because I'm not a fucking coward and I'm a professional. Dear Hikiptiga, how dare you talk about Penn Jillette and not discuss his patent for a bathtub that has special equipment specifically for water blasting someone's pussy until they orgasm? Thanks, Argyle.
Okay, everyone read the question.
He absolutely does have a patent for that.
He does. That is a real patent.
Is that the only patent he holds? That would be so funny.
Wait, hold on. I have to Google this now. Like, I can't believe that you telling me this, that this is real.
I'm not Googling this. I don't want to end up on a watch
My favorite
list.
part about Argyle sending this as a non-anonymous question is that I can respond to it with "I hate this" and hit answer privately, so Argyle can just have that in their inbox.
I've got the
instead
Google
of just
patents.
deleting it like I usually do.
I've got the page up on Google Patents. It is called a hydrotherapeutic stimulator.
Okay, just do a Google search for water blasting pussy orgasm bath.
There's an article on the Atlantic called "Celebrity Invention: Penchalette's Bathtub for the Ladies."
A discharge nozzle is located within the tub and connected to the outlet, mounted to the seat, so the discharged water from the circulation pump automatically aligns with and is directed to stimulation points, e.g. the clitoris, of the female user when the female user sits in the seat.
Thanks, Pen.
I was trying to do a voice, but I couldn't get it to it.
Anonymous says, noticing that musky relates to smell and grimy relates to touch, to which of the 5 senses do you think a possible progeny of Elon Musk and Grimes would be most unpleasant?
This is my favorite question we got
That's
this
pretty
week.
good.
It's really fucking good.
I think,
I'm just going to take a moment to say, Grimeser and Elon Musk.
Thank you.
And I'm thinking that they would probably relate to taste, but what is like the best
just call their kid
equivalent
bitter
for taste that you can
just call
use
their
here?
kid bitter or sour. I don't know.
Yeah, like
Bitter,
I think it would be sight, personally. I would not
wait,
want to look at their child.
What's that thing that you can get in your mouth? It's like a fungus. Thrush.
Thrush.
Oh my god.
Imagine a kid named Thrush Musk.
Thrush Musk! I love that Dan Deacon song.
I hate it. End the episode, please.
Sorry.
Alright,
Blam this piece of shit.
that's gonna do it for us this week. hikipgettodo.tumblr.com, twitter.com/hikipgettodo, facebook.com/ I think it's hikipgettodo, where Matt's gonna be posting that article that
I've
he
already
mentioned
done
earlier. Oh, cool.
I did it 30 minutes ago.
I did it 30 minutes
You think
ago.
I'm some Republic?
I hit post as I mentioned the article.
Perfect.
You did the fucking Tom Hanks and You've Got Mail, like, elaborate click.
Oh yeah, 100%. Or Christina Aguilera
I
elaborate
love that.
click.
Oh, were we gonna do Lightbringers?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we should.
Keep them short, I'd say.
Okay, I can just bust mine out real quick.
Bust it.
I listened to Cyndi Lauper's album "She's So Unusual," and I'm a Cyndi Lauper stan now. Thank you.
Wow, okay.
I'm gonna get that album right now, legally. My Lightbringer is, just since I mentioned it, I'm just gonna say the album Spiderland by Slint, because it's just really fucking good. And it came out before a lot of the stuff that's called post-rock, and before a lot of stuff that's called math rock, and for some reason it's called both of those, despite the fact that those are kind of like antithetical genres. But really it's just like a bunch of like early 20-year-olds fucking around with instruments that they're pretty good at playing, and a guy just telling weird stories on top of the music, and I very much like it.
I do like weird stories to tell in the dark.
Thank you.
I actually, literally, one of my tattoos is from that book.
Wait, really?
Yeah, the big one that's on my arm. It's the scary horse, the horse skeleton.
Those books were my jam when I was in elementary school, which, by the way, they probably should not have put those in an elementary school library, but it's fine.
Yeah, there was one about, like, a guy getting skinned, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I liked the one about the Wendigo, but,
Yeah.
So that's not my Lightbringer, though.
Yes, it is.
Nope.
Moving on.
My Lightbringer is, while I was away, I was in Iceland for, like, a weekend, like, close to 2 weeks. And I read through, basically the entire Southern Reach trilogy, the trilogy that starts with Annihilation.
I've been meaning to get that because I can get it on my library app.
Oh, yeah, it's
Legally.
Actually legally on my library app.
Yeah, having fun isn't hard when you've got a library card. Yeah, so I don't know how many of you have seen the movie, but the movie is extremely loosely based on the book, like, to the point where it's just kind of riffing on kind of the general premise, mostly.
Yeah.
The books
but it's very fucking good.
Yeah, it's a good movie. Although I think now, having seen the movie twice, the second time after reading most of the trilogy, I prefer the books. But I don't think the books are necessarily better. I just prefer them.
That is actually what I gathered from a lot of people who were familiar with the books when they saw the movie. It's like, I like the books better, but the movie's clearly doing its own thing.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's how you have to do an adaptation.
Right, because Alex Garland basically was like, I'm only gonna read the first book, and I'm going to kind of like... I think he kind of did the, like, it's like poetry, it rhymes thing, where he just kind of was like, it'll have kind of like the same notes as like the books, but what actually happens is a lot different. And that also kind of explains the unfortunate whitewashing in the movie. But to be fair, he didn't know about it.
Who specifically did they whitewash?
Natalie Portman's character is revealed in the second book in an offhand thing to be half Asian. But Alex Garland did not read the second book or the third, so he didn't know that.
Yeah, can't really do much with that.
Yeah. But anyway, it's really good, like, science fiction, in the sense that, like, it gives you, presents you with, like, a pretty cool mystery, and it gives you just enough of an answer that, like, you feel like you know more, but it doesn't give you all the answers in a way that bad sci-fi likes to do, where it's just like, in the end, I learned that this happened because of X, Y, and Z, and I learned a very powerful lesson about, like, friendship, being a human.
I guess it really was a Game of Thrones.
You know, Ellie, we really were The Last of Us.
What was the name again?
The Southern Reach trilogy. It starts with Annihilation.
Okay. Evan?
Alright, yeah, my Lightbringer is very short. It's under 140 characters. Mine is this tweet from @prawnmeat. That's prawn_meat. Where he says, "A bell rings, reminding me of the previous times I have eaten. These memories are so good, might as well salivate. It's my choice."
That is a good tweet.
I like that.
Okay, my Lightbringer this week is anthology horror movies. I watched one called Holidays, and it's really just a treat of an experience to watch an anthology horror movie because they're always so fucking weird and so uneven. It's just a bunch of weirdos that they got together to make, like, short concept horror movies. And you can usually tell, like, there's one that's going to be really goofy, and one that's going to be overly serious, and one that's going to be really good. And that's exactly what happened with Holidays, where they fucking... I'm not going to put Holidays as my Lightbringer because, again, it was a very uneven and not a very good movie, but me as a true movie ball connoisseur just loves, like... watching and experiencing what it must be like to make these. It involved, one of them was directed by Kevin Smith, was an extremely distasteful piece of shit, and starred the guy from Epic Mealtime.
Well, that sounds good.
Yes, he showed up and I was like, that cannot fucking possibly be the Epic Mealtime
because
guy.
when I heard the guy from Epic Mealtime, my first thought was Morgan Spurlock, which is extremely
no,
not
you idiot. It's Gordon Ramsay.
It's like... Anyway.
The opposite.
So, yeah. Just, like, if you have a chance, if you're clicking around on Netflix with nothing to watch, like, try maybe... I'm going to think of a good one. VHS 2, The ABCs of Death 2... but yeah, like, if you watch any anthology horror, I just love that horror, it tends to be an outlet for extremely weird creative types who just have, like, really strange ideas and are just kind of shove them into a short film. So it's a really nice experience. Just be prepared for some extremely shitty, distasteful stuff. Because it's going to be
So Linus's Lightbringer is scary stories to tell.
Yeah.
Okay. Patreon.com/Hakipkatd. $1 gets you any of our bonus content, Lightbringers, post-show outtakes, whatever the fuck. $5 gets you a shout out in the podcast as well as a special Discord role to make you an officially recognized comrade. So here's our shout outs. And I don't know how often we say this, but if we pronounce these wrong, please yell at us. Shout out to Roanberg, Star Asterism, Lost End Foundation, @ Alex Schaup, Nick Jagged, David Besser, Helga K, Delaney Fritz, 1-800-Are-You Slappin', M. Chambers, Kadeho Jones, Harry Tomlinson, Dijonais, Jordan Haugen, I hope,
Jordan Jesse Go.
Charlotte Warmington, Pregnant Seinfeld, Benjamin Kingstone Faria, Scout Shiro, Petaz, Evan, Lowe, Brett Houts, Stephanie Ruff, Ollie Anders, and Ellen Nordhaug.
Wait, what happened to Smoke Weed?
That they're Lost in Foundation now?
Smokeweed is Lost in Foundation.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Lost in Foundation is the it's the SCP podcast,
I believe that's a
right?
Kumio's SCP
Yes.
podcast.
Yeah. Which is, there we go, shout-outs. Not on our network, but
Gonna have to mute
friends
that
of the show.
because you got to pay $15 a month for that shit.
And the Conrad is our next role.
Yeah, $10 a month makes you a Conrad in our Discord, which lets you listen to our podcast while we podcast it. And we got some of them in here right now, so thank you to you.
And sometimes it goes for an hour and a half, so you get just that much more content.
Yeah,
And you get to hear us talk about, like, what were we talking about?
Local
We were talking about
Sudbury
a local
stand-up
Sudbury
comedy.
comedy show. Really good thing to listen to. One thing I just added on to the Patreon roles was the ability to join the free nicknames channel. So if you want us to have
yeah.
a really dumbass nickname, you can just give it to us and we'll take it.
Yeah, please, because I said Elon Musk this time.
I mean, it was good, though.
Please, you need to water us, but use your names.
You have to use your P.
You have to use your Elon Musk.
That's it. We're done.
Boy, oh boy.
Show is
Thank you
canceled.
to
Folks,
Thank you to the Taxpayers for the use of their song Evil Men off the album Cold Hearted Town. It's good.
That shit slaps.
It does slap. 1-800, is it slapping? Yes. Check us out on Discord. Join the Discord. It's good. Good community. Good friends. Better ingredients. Better pizza. Papa John's.
Also, Looker
I
is
was
in there.
thinking the same fucking thing.
And yeah, you can see pictures of cat of the show Looker, the best cat. You have to join the Discord for pictures of Looker. He's the best boy.
Well, we're actually sponsored by Pizza
we also
Pizza,
have a
by the
subreddit
way.
Thank you to
Bisexual
God.
Puns Party.
it's been said wrong so many times.
I know. I
that
remember
my brain
because
goes
I got
for the wrong one first this time.
I got
Thank
called
you to
out last
Bisexual
time.
Punch
It's
Party.
actually a Radiohead song, a punch up at a bisexual.
Yeah, my light bringer this week is Punch Up the Jam again.
Sorry, that was an incredibly specific
Every
reference.
week.
Anyway.
No, I got the Radiohead reference
Okay.
because that's their best album. Anyway.
You're wrong, but not here.
Take it away on fuck. Take it away, Neil Cicierega. That's not how we end the podcast.
Memento Pokemon.
This has been Henry Kissinger's Pokemon
Memento
Going to Die
Pokemon.
Now.
Memento
Memento
Pokemon. Now take it away.